Hey y'all, so I have felt very inspired to reinstate my live from the Zen Den videos, formerly known as Church with Just, but I didn't want to, I changed it because for one, my living space became known as the Zen Den, and for two, like, I didn't want these videos to be connected, or for people to assume because it was called Church with Just that it was like connected or tied to any sort of religion or religious beliefs or practices. We are all here because we're mindful and spiritual people, and it doesn't really matter what your specific belief system is, but something brought you here, probably because you're drawn to things of like a spiritual nature. So anyways, I've had like some requests to reinstate that, and I'm kind of I always pre-recorded the videos, but I recorded them live. It wasn't like particularly scripted. I did do my readings like ahead of time, and I started this kind of at the height of just when the world was the world is always crazy, but when things were just like super chaotic in 2020, 2021 still, people were living in a lot of fear. Many people were living in a lot of fear-based space. They didn't really know what to do, and I felt like some people just needed some semblance of hope, some guidance, something reassuring. So I started doing these oracle readings. I was working mostly with oracle decks. I do work with tarot as well, but during those specific times, I was working with oracle decks to anyways just ask for some like spiritual guidance from whatever you want to call the source of life, whether you want to call that God, the universe, Great Spirit, Divine One, whatever you choose to refer to that as. Just like not asking for future predictions, because that's not what it is, and I think there's a lot of fear around the cards, like because there's a lot of false ideas, maybe that's not the right word, behind like what the cards mean and how they work, but it's really just offering guidance, like really from within, because that energy, that God energy, that spirit energy, it like all lives within us, because it's the source from which we all come from. So how could it not? But anyways, so yeah, I would just do these readings after. I have a mindfulness practice that I do every morning, almost every morning. I'm not gonna pretend that there aren't some mornings that I just am unable to make that happen. But during those times though, I was very strictly, I guess, I was just very deep into those practices, and I was doing them every single morning. So anyways, I would do, and I highly recommend doing a mindfulness practice, even if you only can dedicate 5 minutes to it. 5 minutes of meditation every day, every morning to start your day off is really life-changing, and you will see that over time of repetition, and also like getting out. I'm outside right now. It's a gorgeous day here in Los Angeles. We are blessed here to have a lot of sunshine most of the time. It's still quite warm. It's just really important to, like, the sunshine and the morning light, and all of that is like really important for our bodies to thrive. And also lots and lots of water. I have just like a copper bracelet because copper is a conductor, and you know, I don't know the science behind it, so I'm not going to pretend that I do. But it purifies your water. I'm hoping to get a copper water bottle soon, but I don't know. I just had my copper bracelet, and I was like, you know what? I'll put it on the outside because it matters. Water is alive, and water gives life. So, blessing your water before you drink it, you're putting that energy into it. Energy attracts energy. So your water is very much a living energy. So having like good intention when you're holding space with your water. Anyways, stay hydrated, hydrate yourself. Anyways, so I'm just giving like a little backstory on why I started doing this practice, and you know, what it meant then, and like what it hopefully will mean now as I bring it back and like step back into it. I haven't felt quite ready or comfortable to go on live to do this. I'm still working with my throat chakra and like finding that healing with my voice and my throat chakra. You know, words, we have to be careful like what we say, especially about ourselves and especially out loud, but even internally. But so I'm going to try to word this in a way that's not completely like self-deprecating. But I tend to be somebody who works really well with like writing things out, writing my thoughts out before speaking them. I am working on being more comfortable in just letting flow what is coming, but also like I've been working with human design a lot, and like based on my human design, that's just like in my nature that I'm a generator with sacral authority, and what that all means is like a totally different video and lesson. So but just part of that, I also am a wait to respond person. So what that means is like I need to like take the time to process things before I just come out and respond. So it would make sense that I do really well with kind of like allowing myself to sit with my thoughts and like writing them out. So that's the reason that I haven't felt quite comfortable going on live yet. I also know that like I have this channel has been a little quiet lately as far as like my posts, and I don't have like a ton of followers here, but I'm building that. And also like that's the reason that when I first did this practice that I would, you know, do my mindfulness ritual in the morning, and then immediately after that I would, while I was in that meditative space, I would pull cards just for humanity. So I'm going to try something a little bit different. So obviously I'm still not doing this reading live, but I'm not going to really like edit this video or do any takes or anything. I'm just gonna like go with the flow, and then I will post it later. So yeah, I've been posting some I got this really cool deck from one of my favorite vendors. Her business is called Get Mommified, and I love supporting her. She's we have really beautiful conversations and just like a beautiful connection. So yeah, check out her business. It's at Get Mommified on Instagram. Her whole family is just like beautiful and sweet, and they have really awesome, amazing products. So a little shout out. But I got these this last time I saw her, she had this really cute little affirmation deck. She says, "Be you, do you, for you," from Lemaire. That is the person who created this. They also have an Instagram, I believe. Yeah, the.Lemaire, Lamare. So yeah, there's really cool just cards that have little daily affirmations on them. So I've been trying to like post one. I haven't done it every day, but like when I think about it. So I posted one, and I had some people say that I should do more of these, or that, you know, they missed my oracle readings and things like that. So I thought, like, and I also have been inspired by another kind of new connection, somebody who I connected with at an event, at a vegan event, probably like a year or so ago, and she has kind of inspired me to like do my oracle readings again, because she does a lot of oracle readings kind of just like on the spot, and that have really resonated with me. And her business is called 79 Elementals. And I had she works with crystals and copper and like wrapping crystals and the elements, and she's very intentional and mindful person. And anyways, she wrapped some jewelry for me, some citrine, I believe. She made me a citrine necklace. And anyways, recently, this is a lot of another video, another story, but I've just like reconnected with her recently, or gotten more connected with her recently. So anyways, she's been some inspiration for me behind like reinstating these videos. So check out these small businesses, support them. Okay, so I think that's enough of like the backstory behind the why. And you know, I won't do that every single time, but just for this first video, getting back into it, we're gonna see how it goes. And I was just playing with my singing bowl in the beginning of this video. It's such a beautiful energy frequency, a healing frequency. Actually, my cousin got this for me in India years and years ago when she was there. And gosh, for sure, like over 10 years ago. So I still use it all the time in my practices. It has a beautiful tone, and I smudged the space with my amazing sage. This one has lots of little like other flowers in it, but I just like cleared the energy of the space. I just want everyone to know this is created a very peaceful space. I have some smoky quartz for just protection. And yeah, this is a safe space. It's a peaceful space. And you know, what comes up for us today is always what we are meant to see. And you know, everything has like either a negative or positive perception, but remember that it's perception, and it's all how you perceive things. The cards aren't really like meant to be good or bad or negative or positive. It's just they're just supposed to like give you some guidance in life, and you take what they say and integrate it into your day, into your week, into your month, into your practice. And you move on from it, and you let it go. And then, you know, the next day maybe you pull another card, or the next week, or whatever. So anyways, this morning morning, I pulled this card. I let go of all expectations. And I thought that was really beautiful. So this is just from the mindfulness, or the affirmation deck. It's not an oracle card or a tarot card. It's literally just affirmations for your day. So I let go of all expectations. And that, I think that's something that a lot of us hold on to, is what or how we expect things to be, how we expect people to be, how we expect situations to be. And as long as we're like so attached to those expectations, like it's like we're setting ourselves up to be disappointed. You know, we're putting people on pedestals, or, you know, expecting people to act or behave a certain way. Like we're not giving them room to just be, you know, because it's like if they don't act or behave or respond in the way that in our minds we expect them to, we get upset and we get frustrated, and maybe we're like, oh, we don't like this person anymore, which is, you know, it's not really self-serving to think in that way. And also just with expectations and outcomes, I think when you get too attached to expecting things, it's like you're planning things out too much, and you're not only planning like how you want things to go, but you're planning how you expect them to go. And when, you know, not when, because sometimes things do go the way that we expect them to go. People do behave the way that we expect them to behave. But if we don't give that room for things to maybe go differently, it's like we are putting too much control into a situation. And at the end of the day, like, we don't really have that much control over what happens in our lives. You know, there are certain things that we can control, and but anything that we can't, we just have to like let go of. Your life will be better and it will flow more consistently if you can learn to like let go of certain expectations. So that, you know, I won't talk too much more about that, but that is just kind of like the affirmation for today. Just remind yourself, I let go of all expectations. You can look in the mirror at yourself when you say that. You can repeat it. You can say it maybe just when you maybe catch yourself having expectations of something or trying to control a situation. You can stop yourself and say, I let go of all expectations. And it's really as simple as that. Doing these mindfulness practices doesn't have to be complicated. This can be something that you simply integrate into your life. I actually gave a lot of these away, and I'm really open to sharing them with people. I've been doing these getting back to the element hikes, and the first one that we did, I just felt called to bring this deck and to let people pull cards from it. And I told them like that if they felt like it really aligned with them, that they were totally welcome to keep the card and let it inspire them. So I think that's like a really beautiful thing, being able to share that with people. And I think like some people really were inspired by that. So anyways, I'm gonna hydrate myself. So in this like Zen Den 2.0, if you will, I am going to attempt to do these like pull cards and do these readings live. There's an airplane. I live by the airport. We're gonna let it pass. So lately, yeah, I live right by the airport, so planes flying overhead is like a daily, hourly occurrence. I'm so used to it, but I don't really notice it unless I am like doing something like this or like talking on the phone to somebody. Anyways, so I've been really called to work with this deck, The Secret Language of Light, by Denise Jarvie. The Secret Language of Light, Transmissions from Your Soul. I love this deck. I love the imagery on this deck. It's so beautiful. These are some cards that I pulled on another hike the other day. But look how like beautiful the imagery is. And even like the front of the cards has a mandala. So this is just a deck that I've had this deck for quite some time. I believe I got it in Haight-Ashbury, actually, when I was in San Francisco, like pre-world crazy shutting downness. I think it was like 2019, maybe 2018 that I was out there. And I'm pretty sure this is where I received this deck. So yeah, I'm going to attempt, we're gonna see how this first one goes, because previously I did the reading and I would take notes on the reading. I would take notes, make talking points, and also I had little like stories or like things that I related them to, and I would like mention, so I would have like mentions in them, which was great, you know. I think because, you know, I told you my design is a wait to respond person. I think for me that is like a great process, but it's also a very, you know, once the world started like opening back up and my business was reopening, I didn't have all of the time that I had then to put towards this. And you know, that was like a crazy time because there were so many things that were like terrible, and we all have different points of view on that. I'm not gonna get into that. That's not what this is about. But no matter what your view is on it, I think you can say there was a lot of like terrible things about that time. But in my opinion, there were some beautiful takeaways from that too. Here comes another airplane. So I'm just gonna continue to just smudge the energy from my deck, the old energy. I love this smudge stick. It's beautiful, but it doesn't stay lit very well. So yeah, so one of like the beautiful takeaways for me was just that I learned that I was allowed to have more time for myself, and for my family and for my friends and for traveling. And you know, I was getting stuck in the constant like need, especially living in a city like Los Angeles, where this is one of the most expensive cities in the nation to live in, maybe in the world. And it's just like this constant like, you know, need to make money to survive. And also, you know, I'm a small business owner, and you know, there's never any like I can't think of the word that I'm looking for, but it's like you never really know like how much money you're gonna make each month or where that money is coming from. So, you know, you're just constantly on the grind and doing all sorts of things and having all sorts of avenues of like income, so you have like something coming in at all times. But when I was forced to slow down, and I was also supported financially, I was able to do all these things that I didn't allow myself to do before. And for the most part, I've kept those things in my, I've allowed myself more space to just flow. And I think it's been really great for me, and hopefully like other people have found that space to flow as well. And allow yourself to be more free and spend that time with your family, spend that time with your friends, spend that time with just the people that you care about, that care about you. Explore the world, explore even just your own backyard. There's so much beauty in the world, so find that beauty and like hold on to it. So yeah. So I am going to read from the booklet for this deck, just so you know. I feel like I am skilled with the cards and like interpreting them, but I don't know the deck well enough to just like know off the top of my head what each card represents. So hopefully you'll bear with me as I read from the deck. So just asking, before I even asked what guidance we need in the world today, just for humanity, this card flew out. Soulcraft. So the way that I do my readings is like, I don't have a specific like form that I follow. Sometimes I will do a specific spread, but for the most part, I just go with the energy of it. And if things like fly out at me, like I just feel like that's the universe saying, hey, this one, So, and sometimes there's like multiple ones. So we'll just see. Soulcraft. And this deck is the secret language of light. So you'll see a lot of like light energy represented in the imagery. So just one more time. Soulcraft. So let's see. This deck is cool too because it has like a basic general like meaning of the card. It also has a meditation that you can do with the card, and then it has inspired reflections and actions and like journal work, and you can choose. I will read all of that, and you can choose whether you want to like utilize that in your practice, in your day. So the card, just like the idea of the card, is life happens from you, not to you. So there's like this victim mentality of like, oh, all these things are happening to me. And that is like really, that really like keeps you stuck in that victim mentality, thinking that everything happens to you is because of some outside forces, because of other people, because of your karma or whatever. But like, life happens for you, not to you, or in this case, from you. So I think like life happens from you, not to you, is saying that life happens because of what you project from yourself. And we're all mirrors of each other as well. So what you project from yourself, from your heart, from your soul, from your spirit, you will receive back. So if you're projecting out a lot of like negativity, then you're gonna receive back that negativity, and you can't really like blame other people for it, except for yourself, because you have the power to change your thought patterns. You do have the power to do that, and it might seem difficult at first, especially if you're super stuck. Now it's a helicopter. So, especially if you're super stuck in like a certain mindset and certain agreements that you have been like brought up to believe. And Four Agreements is a great book. I actually am thinking about revisiting this book soon, because I need a reminder of the agreements. However, you know, a lot of these ideas might stem from your childhood that you've just carried with you, and you might think, well, I hear a lot of times people making excuses of, well, that's how I was raised, or this happened to me in my childhood, so that's why I am this way. And like, yeah, that might be true, that things happen that we have to protect ourselves from and our energy from, but still at the end of the day, it doesn't really like matter. I mean, obviously it matters, like what has happened to you in your life, but in the sense of like, you know, what of life happening from us, not to us. It's just like, it's really important, like what you project from yourself. So you have to like let go of that mindset that like, this is happening to me because of a situation from my past, or this is happening to me because of how this person treated me. You know, it's not because of that, it's because you're allowing that. So try to like change your mindset into, or try to think about like what you're projecting. And at first, like, you know, it will have to be very almost forced, because we're conditioned in certain ways to think that way. And to have like a new way of thinking, you have to like train yourself and like retrain yourself and recondition yourself. But if you can just like catch yourself, I think I was talking about that earlier, is like catching certain thoughts and like turning them around. Something I heard, I think it was from Teal Swan, who is incredible. I think she was talking about something, I don't know the context of it, I can't remember. And I think it was her, so don't quote me on this, but like, it was saying that's not true. So like when you have this inner dialogue that's like really negative towards yourself, you know, I'm sorry, I'm thinking it could have been somebody else that said this, a friend, or my good friend Jen Aiden's sister, Jacqueline, who has had a beautiful transformative journey, and I've been following her for quite some time. It might have been her that said this. So Jacqueline, if it was you that said this, then I'm sorry that I confused you with Teal Swan, but she's really awesome, so that's okay. It might have been her that said this: when you have negative thoughts, or these negative thoughts about yourself, or if you say it out loud, because sometimes we say things out loud about ourselves that are self-deprecating, catch yourself and say, that's not true. Like, wait a second, like, that's not true. Remind yourself that you're just creating those thoughts. And when you're creating like negative thoughts about yourself, like, you're projecting that out and attracting it back, because everything is energy, and energy can't be created or destroyed. Energy just transfers to and attracts to like other energy. So be careful what you're projecting and what you're attracting. So that was just the what the card represents. I think I thoroughly explained that. But so the message, or just like the general meaning of the card, I highlighted, so I've pulled this one before, and I sometimes will highlight certain passages that I think are like the standouts. So yeah, this is kind of what I was talking about. The thoughts, ideas, and topics you incessantly discuss are crafting your life. So focus on ones that make your heart smile. That's pretty much what we just talked about. But things that you say, whether internally or externally, that is like the reason I say you have to really be careful and mindful about what you speak, is like you're speaking those things into existence. So if you're like constantly speaking of all these like negative ideas, putting yourself down, talking about how miserable you are, or how so-and-so did this to you and this is why you're acting this way and you're a victim, and all this, like saying those type of things out loud is just attracting more of those things to you, more low frequency energy, low frequency people to you and into your space. And if that's not what you want, then you really have to change your thought patterns and the way that you speak about yourself, out loud and to yourself. You are ready to receive answers from your soul about any topics, thoughts, or ideas you want to change. And that's just like mindfulness and being still and listening to yourself, going into meditative space. When we go into meditation, we're connecting with our soul. And to me, like, that's the part of you that is God, the universe, the great spirit, the creator, the divine one, whatever, whatever resonates with you, that is how you connect with that, because that is the part of you that comes from that. So if there's things that you really want to change with yourself and with your life, like try connecting with yourself first. Be wise in crafting, and the path of least resistance will call you. So yeah, again, just be thoughtful and mindful about what you speak into existence for yourself. Different soul vibrations will inspire different actions. If you're feeling tired, your inspired action will be to rest or sleep. If you're feeling love, you will be inspired to do things that emulate love in your day. So being in tune with your body and your emotions and what is best for you in any certain moment or situation, and doing your best to listen and respond to that. So like, if your body is telling you that it's tired, rest. That doesn't necessarily mean going to sleep, but just like sit down and take a break and allow yourself that space to do that, as soon as you're able to, you know. If you're feeling hungry, like, eat something. Be mindful about what you're putting into your body, but give your body nourishment. If you're thirsty, drink. Don't wait, you know. We get so caught up in this capitalistic society of like always having to do, and we don't like do enough for ourselves. So yeah, it's just really important to be like intentional. We all sense with our soul, but often override it with the rational mind. Trust your soul is bringing you the most up-to-date information. So we all have that connection because we all have a soul. We all have a soul, and that soul speaks to us. But if we're not listening and we're tuning it out, how can we be mindful? How can we do what our bodies need? It's really, again, like, and even before, when I was first doing these Zen Den videos, like I don't want to use the word preach. I suggest doing meditation and mindfulness practices, because like being able to sit with yourself in silence is very powerful, and I understand. There's another plane flying overhead. I was thinking about how my niece, when she was little, we used to play this game where we referred to the planes as alien spacecraft, and we would like try to run from them. Hi, Hadley. She's the best. Anyways, oh yeah, so meditation, or just mindfulness practices. For me, like just finding a space that you feel safe to be with yourself in. I know for some people, like it can be really challenging to be alone with your thoughts. I think there's a lot of fear. A lot of people are scared of where their thoughts go. But like, we have to feel those thoughts, whether like negative or positive, and explore them and process them. It's the only way to really like heal our souls and heal ourselves. If you are in a situation where you're afraid of where your thoughts can lead or what they could lead you to do, I suggest having somebody that you can call on if you get to a scary place, whether it's a therapist, whether it's a friend that you've worked this out with beforehand. I've had some friends who, or in the past, who we had agreed that if somebody sends a black heart, just a black heart, that means do whatever you can to contact that person immediately. They are not doing so well. Whatever it is, whether it's the suicide prevention hotline, or maybe be in a space where there's somebody there physically, maybe not in the room with you, but if you get to a weird space that you're not sure how to process, that you can, you have that person there that you can immediately go to. Whatever that is for you. And I do not claim to be any like licensed professional. This is just suggestions based on my own experiences and experiences of people that I know. So if you are afraid of getting in that space with your own thoughts, just try to have some safety net that you can fall into, so to speak. But yeah, it's a really, even if you can just start with 5 minutes. When I first started really meditating, that was probably like, I want to say like 2012, 2013. So I guess that was like about 10 years ago now. It's crazy to think about. But that's when I was like really starting to get kind of drawn into the process, and that was like coming into my awareness. I would start with just 5 minutes, because it is challenging to sit still with yourself, especially if you're like me and your mind is always going in different directions, and it's hard to like quiet yourself. Don't worry so much about quieting yourself in the beginning. Just sit with yourself for 5 minutes. If you need to set a timer, just to get in the practice of just sitting with yourself for 5 minutes. If you go longer, you go longer. So anyways, I started with that, and I would start out setting a timer, sitting there like in the dark. In the beginning, I thought that like to meditate you had to be in a certain space, in a certain, you had to have certain things and sit in a certain position, and that's not really true. I mean, you can, but there's so many different forms of meditation. You just kind of have to create your own practice and what works for you and what space is best for you. But in the beginning, you know, that's what I did, and I would just like set a timer, and I would often find myself like zoning out for like 10, 15, 20 minutes. And I just consistently did it. And then I got to a place where I was going through some things, and I was homeless for a while, and I would spend a lot of time by the ocean. I had a job at the beach, in one of the little like beach shacks, and I every night after work, you know, I wouldn't really have anywhere to go, so I would shower in the beach showers, and I would go sit by the ocean and meditate. And it got to be to where I was meditating for like an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, just without forcing myself to do it. So the more you practice, the more skilled you become at it. So anyways, but you have to start somewhere, you know. That was probably 2 or 3 years after I started meditative practice. So, you know, everything takes time to master, and I'm not a master at it, and I got away from it for a while too, and have, you know, recently gotten back into it. But yeah, it's you know, everything takes practice and takes upkeep, maintenance. There you go. Like, you have to maintain it in order to continue to be able to do it at the capacity that you're doing it. So speaking of meditation, I am going to tell you the meditation for this card. I'm not going to do it now because I don't feel personally like I can do it in this space for myself. But I'm going to share it so that if you choose to do it, whether right now as I'm saying it, I think that could be really, really great to like do it now as you're listening to this video. I will go slowly through it, but if that doesn't work for you, or if you don't find my voice soothing, totally fine. I'm not offended. You can just maybe write this down, and you can practice this later if this card resonates with you. So here's the card. I'm going to hold it up. So this is the meditation for Soulcraft. Place the card at your heart and close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and move your awareness to a place in you that feels balanced and soft. As you breathe out, let go of any resistance in your body or mind, anything that feels hard. Focus on your breathing until your whole body feels soft and relaxed. Take as long as you like. Focus on what you are feeling, and know that you can control how you feel by focusing on this softness within you. If you find yourself being distracted by the outside world or your thoughts, gently bring yourself back to your breathing and your soft inner world. Float in this space for at least a minute and allow your soul to reveal your highest, most loving, fun, exciting, abundant way to be in this world. When you feel ready, open your eyes and know how special you are to your soul and the universe. Such a beautiful meditation, and only just a few minutes. So some of you might have done that meditation now, like with the video while you're watching that, and I think that's amazing. And some of you maybe just took notes and will do it later. Some of you won't do it at all, and that is totally fine as well. So you do what you feel aligned with. That's all you can do. You don't force yourself to do things that you don't feel aligned or resonated with. That will never serve you. So here are just some inspired reflections and actions for this card, Soulcraft. Meditate for at least 5 minutes a day. I already spoke on that. This is a way to reconnect with your soul and create your dreams. Think in energy instead of time frames just for a day. We do tend to get super attached to like time as a linear thing. And we have to try to get more in tune with our bodies and our energy and what we feel aligned with and called to. So try that. Just be mindful of that for just a day, and just, the more you do it, the more natural it becomes. When you become an energetic match for your desired thoughts, you will meet them. There's no set time frame. All in divine time. We all do things in our own time and the time that we are meant to do them in. We don't have to compare ourselves with other people or other people's journeys. Your journey is your own. It's very personal. At night, before you go to bed, step back from your life. The larger you view, the clearer your actions will become. In the morning as you wake up, stay in this larger view of your life and note what inspired actions drop into your mind. So it does get easy to be so focused in on something that we're not really seeing the big picture. And sometimes you really need to like step outside of yourself, or sometimes it might take like another person to say like, hey, like, what are you doing? Or if you do this, like maybe you'll have more success. But yeah, getting really hyper focused on like one thing can keep us stuck. So try to every so often, like this says, before you go to sleep at night, like step back from your life and try to like look at yourself from like the outside, like even like a bird's eye view. You can do a mindfulness practice that I do and I've been doing since 2019 I keep a gratitude journal, and I have filled up like maybe like at least 3, probably like 4 or 5 of them, honestly. I have consistently done this since then every single day. There are some days that I have forgotten and I'll like do it at night, or I'll do it the next day and just reflect on the day before. But what I do, and this is something my best friend Desiree taught me, is it's just a simple, gratitude should be simple. It doesn't need to be overly complicated. We don't need to like overthink about it. It should be just an energetic thing, what we feel. So when I wake up in the morning, I write just a sentence on what I'm grateful for. And some days it is really a lot harder than other days to find even one thing, but there's always one thing. You can be grateful for the sun, for the clouds, for the rain, for water, for air to breathe, for a family member, for a friend, for a place, for a tree. It could be simple things like that. It doesn't have to be something so profound. Don't get stuck in like thinking this is for you. You're not sharing this with anyone unless you want to. Like that's, if you feel called and aligned to do that, then that's up to you. But in just generally speaking, like this gratitude journal is for you, and your connection with the universe. So when you wake up, just write simply something that you're grateful for, and also your goal for that day. for me, this has been like different things. It can be something just like a physical goal. Like today, my goal for today is to do my laundry and get my laundry done. My goal for today is to go get a massage, practice self-care. It could be something more spiritual too. My goal for today is to be more mindful about how I'm speaking about myself, things like that. So again, it can be simple. It doesn't have to be like super profound. So then before you go to sleep each night, you would take out your gratitude journal again and just write the best part of your day. And again, just like the first thing, sometimes there are times that it can be very difficult to find one good thing about your day. That thing is another airplane. This is I'm so used to it. But okay, so finding something that you're the best part of your day. It could be it could be something super profound, like you did something really amazing and it just made you feel so good, and that's what you want to talk about. Sometimes for me, it's been like the best part of my day today was that I talked to my nephew. That's really beautiful and important to me when I get to talk to my nieces and nephew on the phone, because I don't live in the same city or state as them. Or I'm a chef, so maybe like I created a new recipe today, or maybe I'll go somewhere like the beach or Disneyland or a hike or something, and that might be the best part of my day. It could be that you woke up. The best part of my day today was that I woke up. You know, all you can do each day is the best that you can. As best I can. That's what this means. Demain que je peux. I probably really butchered that. But it's French and it's like our family motto. And it just means as best I can. And that's all you can do, is the best that you can each day. And some days that's going to look different than other days. Some days, like getting out of bed is the best that you can do. And we should all try to be more mindful of people and people's experiences before judging them. You know, sometimes that is the best that somebody can do. So yeah, it's the same idea with the gratitude journal. You just do the best you can, but just be consistent with doing it each day. And the more you do it, the more natural it becomes as part of your daily ritual. So that's like an inspired action that you can take. Might not be for everybody, it's just a suggestion. Take it or leave it. For me, it's a beautiful practice. And like I said, there's been some days that I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot to do my gratitude. But I still will go back for the day before and just reflect on it. And instead of saying, I am grateful, I'll say, like, today I was grateful for this. And my goal for today or this day was to do this. And the best part of my day was this thing. Like, so, you know, I try to stay like really consistent and mindful and think about every single day. Again, that's my practice. You do it the way that works for you. And so last thing on this card on Soulcraft is, you know, this card is like very, I feel like sacral chakra. It's very orange. I guess some people might see it as yellow. I do feel like the light itself is yellow, but like the card seems more of like a burnt orangey color, which is like sacral chakra, like our creative center. Working with orange stones while you're doing these meditations, carnelian, things like that can be beneficial. That's the way that I see it. So the last thing on this card is there's some journal work that you can do. Again, you don't have to do it now. You can do it after you finish watching this video. You can do it at another time, today or this week, or not at all if it doesn't feel resonated with you. Which is, again, the soul craft. You don't have to do things just because somebody suggests it. You don't have to do things just because like somebody you look up to or somebody you follow tells you that you should. You don't have to do things because I'm telling you that these things work for me. You have to find, I just feel like everything that you learn about, that you research, that you study, that comes into your space, everything that you learn about are just tools. And you can take those tools out of your toolbox and use them whenever you feel called to them. So we all have these arsenal of tools that we've collected, over time. And maybe today this tool isn't the tool that you need, but maybe like 3 months from now, you're going to remember like, oh yeah, I remember this thing that I learned, and I'm going to put this into practice. But remember that Soulcraft and the card is all about how you're shaping your own reality by inspired actions and words that you are saying, that you're calling in, or energies that you're calling in. So the journal work for Soulcraft is draw or write about 3 things you want to do in your life that others can't talk you out of. No matter what anyone says, you will do or experience these things because it feels like the right thing for you to do. What you focus on, you create, and everything else falls away from lack of attention. So yeah, these are things that you can write about that you're like, my soul is set on doing these things. I know that these things are good for me or what I'm meant to do, and no matter what anybody says or no matter what anybody tells me, like, I'm doing these things. So write about what those are and let them inspire you, and know that like you can you can do that with so many things. Yeah, because it's when you get hyper focused like that, that's passion. Things that you will do no matter what anybody tells you, that's like your passion and your drive. And that, like I was saying, that this made me think of sacral chakra. That's like where that energy comes from your sacral, that passion, that drive. So getting in practice of, or when you're in that mode of like that one-trackedness of like, I am doing this and nobody can change my mind, you are manifesting. You are like in the zone. So writing about this and reminding yourself of these moments just like helps you get in practice of doing this with like so many other things. That's manifestation. It's the law of attraction. What you project, you attract. And that's just to tie back into what I was saying in the beginning. What you project, you will always attract. So think of, be conscious of what you're projecting. So this is already an hour. I did spend a lot of time in the beginning just talking about like kind of like the foundation of these videos, and doing that other like affirmation card. I was gonna I brought out my tarot also to see if like anything came through on that. I don't know. I'm kind of feeling like, honestly, to like leave it on this note. And you know what? I am listening to my soul and what my soul and my energy of my soul is telling me. And I feel like we got a lot of information here. A lot of talking points, a lot of journal work, meditation. I don't want to overload you for this first one back. So I'm going to leave it at Soulcraft for this time. Okay? I'm going to leave it at Soulcraft, and you can do with it what you will. whatever you feel resonated with and called to, you can do with this card, with this reading, with this video. So thank you so much for tuning in and sticking with me for this hour. I'm gonna try to keep them to about an hour max, aside from planes flying over and disrupting. I think like that's a good amount of time to sit with this, and I don't want to like take up too much of your time. And I hope that you'll watch and listen to these videos mindfully, and not be distracted with other things. But again, like, you just have to do what feels right for you. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Again, like, thank you so much for sharing this space with me. I hope that you gain some insight and clarity about yourself, about your life, and that you're able to put some of these ideas into practice. So until the next time, namaste.